Hello, hello. We are live for our Wise Woman interview series, and I'm so grateful and excited that today we have Amy Mooney with us. And what's so cool would be that we're both in Michigan, yet we are a good solid hour without traffic apart. And yet here we are online together sharing more about this beautiful woman that I have literally heard about from the moment that I met Sarah, who is a hockey mom. We shared the same hockey team. We've been in the hockey world forever. And I had the opportunity of meeting Sarah Zalewski from this last season. And we got to know each other more than hockey moms. We share love of lots of things, and in business, we were able to share what we're doing, how we're growing. And Sarah's first and foremost was behind the scenes with Amy and her inspiration, her guidance, her gifts, her talents that she shared with Sarah. And then Sarah shared with me. And now here we are online together. And I'm so grateful for being able to see someone who takes her gifts and uses them to the fullest, because Lucy and I got to literally experience her gifts in person. We drove to her beautiful space and it was something to remember. And so today we get to know a little bit more about Amy, her story, how she came to this place. And my hopes are that it inspires you. You'll be able to hear her story, probably relate to some spaces and places, and then also take some action for yourself, whether it's reaching out to her, communicating, following her, seeing what she's up to, and being able to make a shift within yourself. So I am so thankful that we get to hear and learn more from you today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Maggie. And it was wonderful working with you and your daughter. Is, that's what I love to do. And it's neat meeting you. Love Sarah to pieces. I've seen her as a client for, oh my gosh. And I used to do retreats. Um, Gosh, I've known her for quite a while, and watching her grow and bloom and become who she is at this time, and only to see what is to come is just, it's the gift. I always thank God for allowing me to witness his work through others, and I just get to witness it. So,
That
yes,
can be the greatest gift, and we don't realize what a treasure that is. You
it
know,
is.
it
It
really,
is.
that
Yes.
impact is so beautiful.
Yes. And celebrating someone else's, dreams
Mhm.
and having them like grow them, get them bigger. Like, no, you're thinking too small. Like, keep going. Like, try this, try that. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Brainstorming. So
Mhm.
that's a lot of fun. And then see what lands and see what they run with.
I could not agree. I literally have the chills. Just,
Mhm.
yeah, I was journaling this morning and that was talking about igniting others' dreams. And, you know, we have the availability to go alongside somebody that's going to remind us of what's possible and be able to have that supportive environment and encouragement. And I literally felt it from the moment she started talking about you and then walking into your space. I was like, oh, goodness. And the conversation with Lucy, I will never forget for that, the choice to step into something so special. So thank you for creating that space and share with everyone a little bit more about how you came to where you are.
Yes. If you would tell me 30 years ago I'd be where I'm at today, I would have never believed it in a million years, ever. So just a little of the backstory. There was just my sister and I, mom and dad. My mom was sick her entire life.
Mm.
So she had Crohn's, ileitis, enteritis, and colitis, in and out of hospitals, Mayo Clinic, sometimes gone a month or two at a time. So we were raised staying at strangers' houses, and, could mom get out of bed? Could she not get out of bed? So I learned to read people very
Mm.
easily. I
Mm.
got, I am more, I got to watch like their human behavior, because sometimes we woke up in somebody else's house. And I mean, we were loved. It was very well taken care of, but you had to behave, say your pleases and thank yous. So that naturally helps you tune into people, what's
Mhm.
allowed and what's not allowed. So going on, I was naturally my mom's caregiver. And for a short period of time, my parents were divorced, then remarried. So
Mm.
I was the one that was on call whenever she was sick. And I never thought twice about it. So here I am, um, raising two daughters, and one of my family members was going through a very, very hard time. And at that time, I had a house cleaning business. So
Mm.
I was in and out of people's houses. I loved what I did because I knew they were so excited to come home to a spotless house. And I had the rule, you cannot cook dinner the nights I clean. You have to have a clean kitchen for 24 hours. That
Oh
is,
my gosh.
yes, and the women loved it. So as one of my family members is going through one of their hardest times, I was cleaning a lady's house, and she said, "Well, have your family member come over. I can do Reiki on her." And all I knew is she had an office space that had a massage table, and it was just a beautiful space. Every time you walked into the room, you just felt peaceful and calm. So I called my family member and said, "Do you want to come in? Do you want to try this?" And they said yes. So after their session, they said, "I can see the light. Like, I see that I'm not going to be in this dark space anymore, but it's going to take work." And I was like, "That's amazing. Like, how can laying on a massage table change?" But I never had judgment. I have always had curiosity my whole life. I always would think of others like, well, this woman's pretty neat. She must know something I don't know. And I would just file it in the back of my head. So I went to Nicole and I said, "Nicole, thank you for helping my family. Like, that was huge." And we went to high school together. And she says, "Amy, you need to do Reiki." And I'm like, "I do?" She said, "Yes, you need to do Reiki." I said, "Oh," she said, "I'm teaching a class in 3 weeks." So I said, "Okay, I guess I'll do it." And I've always kind of been the person, if someone brings something to me, I know I have to try it. So here I go to this class, didn't know how to spell it, didn't know how to pronounce it, never had it. I had no idea what I was getting into, and I was ignited. I was on fire. So I did all the levels, and Nicole helped me set up a practice.
Mm.
And so I was in this little closet of a room with no windows, just down this rickety hallway, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If you know Reiki or energy work, and I've been to California for other trainings. I've been to, a bunch of different energy trainings, because if someone tells me, "Hey, what about this?" I'm going to do it. I have nothing to lose. And sometimes if I walk away for one or two things I can use for my client, it's well worth the investment of time and money.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I was turning 50 and I quit my cleaning business, and I've been doing Reiki full time since, which
Yeah.
was a leap of faith.
I was just gonna say, so I'm gonna share something that I think would be really valuable here is that I knew about you, yet I knew the gifts of your spirit and what you've given to Sarah. I didn't know your story. You know what I mean? Like she didn't go through in detail. And if she did, I might have missed it because we were standing at the glass or, hockey, you know what I mean? Like
Right,
I
right.
don't think I knew that. I did not know that. I and I want to share that because that's what's so special about what comes out is that you are doing a gift and a service that brought you joy,
Mhm.
right? Right?
Oh,
Is what I'm
yes.
hearing. And then I've never, in all the times I've ever had somebody clean, support, or talk to people who have businesses, the rules around it, which I think is so special. Like I literally did just clean our house in such a very intense way because we had company last night. And I was like, we need company more often. But I did literally think last night, like, but I don't want to use my stove because it's clean. So that is funny that you said that. Yet back to the opportunity of being here and acknowledging something that I think is really sacred is that you were doing something that brought you joy and you allowed yourself by a simple ask that somebody asked, what about this? I think, this could be an opportunity. And if I'm not mistaken, based on being in your space, that took you to like the next level of learning, the next level of activation, that next level of impact. Like it literally brought you to a completely different elevation with joy and greater peace, I dare say,
Oh,
because I've
yes.
experienced your
Hmm.
skill set and a deeper, I don't know, would you say that was a deeper connection to your faith?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In a lot of points, because I, by my closest people in my life, didn't support it. So they were, and I learned to live my younger years to being a people pleaser. So it would have been easier for me not to go forward and do this because everyone's like, you can't do that. I mean, the funniest part, my husband told people probably for 8 to 10 years, I was a yoga instructor because he didn't know how to explain what I did. So,
That happen? Like, how does that happen? Declan said the other day something, and I was like, what? And I thought, but you know what? How many times do kids say that about their parents because they're not going to work with them? You know what I mean? They're not literally seeing it. And he sees this, yet he doesn't know the extension of it. You know what I mean?
right. Well,
And how common that is.
it's a, to me, it's a challenge on faith in myself. I went from living a life wanting to be validated by others before I tried anything or did anything, right? And here I am, the closest people in my life. I can't deny this. I cannot not do Reiki. I
Mhm,
cannot do all the different energy work modalities I do. I can't help it. Like it has given me so much peace and joy within that I'm okay that others are uncomfortable or unknowing in what I'm doing. And what happens is, you're out and about and a client will come up and say, "Oh my gosh, Tim, that's my husband, Tim. I cannot believe how much your wife has helped or how much this has happened." And through that, he started to believe in it. And that's just part of it. It's not that he didn't believe in it, it's that I was given the opportunity to believe in myself,
mhm,
thoroughly myself by myself.
mhm.
And with doing energy work, I couldn't not. I I had to dig deep and be okay.
You know what though? I've got to pause right there. Gosh, oh goodness gracious! Now I have like chills down my legs. Um, I want to point out right there that you've never been alone. It feels super lonely though.
Yes, it is. You're learning, you have to learn it's okay. The people, because even my mom when she was alive was like, I don't know about this Reiki thing. She's like, I don't hear you talk about God. I go, oh
Mm,
my gosh, mom, I can't do it without God. Like it's not me.
right.
Like I'm an open channel for it. And she's like, oh, I'm not sure about that. Or I've had people say, oh, you can't do that. It's in the Bible. Reiki's bad. I'm like, well, then why am I seeing a nun regularly? Why is the nun who has studied the Bible more than priests because they have to, because they're teachers,
Mhm.
it's not in there? And then other clients are their uncle's a priest or a pastor, and they're like, no, no, I can't find it anywhere. You have my blessing.
And I think like that's such a good point to be made because something of the unknown, what happens is maybe this is a little dramatic, but it's like those walls that just start to like get put up and they start
Yeah.
as little pieces of paper and then they become something thicker like a book like no 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 no
Yeah.
no no and that is of not the way and it's well you know what if it was a new better I think we're all learning that right now that there are different and better ways and like something I just read recently that the greatest medicine is rest
Yes.
but it's free. You know what I mean? Like it's free for us to choose, yet it's not
Hmm.
free and easy as it used to be because of these lovely distractions and all the things around us. Yet it
Hmm.
is, and that's what you pursue. You pursue peace and calm and rest and choice. And that
Yes.
disrupts, I see, and I can feel it because I've had a lot of judgment on that as well. And
Hmm.
because I'm not in seminary, I can talk about my faith and it is that's it. It's faith, like I'm not
Yeah.
claiming that I am holier than thou. I am completely
Hmm.
flawed. Yet it disrupts most that are
Hmm.
unwilling to punch that in the face.
Yeah.
Cut it in pieces and say, "Huh, what do you mean? What does that look like? What's the opportunity? What's the outcome?" It being like you said, I love that curiosity versus judgment makes such a big difference in the pursuit and knowing what you do in a small way from me, just that I
Hmm.
got an opportunity to take Lucy to such a special place, the conversation and options and choices and I still have to figure out something with Declan because he felt like he missed out. So, and he did. Um, And that's the truth of how many people miss out on a space of judgment and staying stuck behind a piece of paper, which is just
Yes.
clouded, granted mine has
Hmm.
color on it, but and then it becomes a book and then sometimes it becomes a brick wall,
Yes.
but of the unknown and the fear that keeps us from something greater and better.
And the best part is letting go, like curious. Like when someone comes to me, yes,
You're
I
letting go.
yes, that
What
there's
you
my
gave me at the end. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, I have this. Yeah, literally what you wrote. Sorry, go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead.
So, yes, so I have curiosity. I don't challenge people. I don't react in a way other than, please, if you can find it, show it to me. I would love to see it. And I'm like, it's okay that you're not okay with doing this.
Hmm.
That's okay. Like, I respect your wishes. Like, that's not everything is for everybody. And that's what I think is the difference between doing Reiki and being Reiki
Hmm.
is really stepping out of judgment,
Mm.
really digging into the self-development, the being okay that you're not doing things exactly as socially expected. But
Well,
at
and I
this,
think that's a trap. That's an absolute trap, I believe, because then it becomes everyone else's judgment, their theories, instead of, taking that time within to truly develop that knowing or that, ability to hear God's voice, direction,
mm-hmm,
you know. And yet
And-
we run so hard and fast and what you've done, at least I've felt it, was that
Mhm.
literally that special place to be calm and
Yes.
allow. I mean, Lucy felt it. She was like, "Oh my goodness, some of the things that you were doing." She was just like, "Oh my." And and I'm not sure, so many times in life there's before and afters. Like, oh, before
Yes.
somebody went walking, before somebody, you know, took their health into greater,
Mhm.
there's a before and after. And like it could be serums, it could be whatever. I wish we had a little mini video of Lucy before
Mm.
walking into your room. And then
You can
after,
you can see complete facial changes in people, posture changes, body changes.
her
And
joy, her joy in her voice. And she was like giddy.
yeah, I mean, it is absolutely life-changing to have a session. It you can't you like some people it's subtle, it's so natural. And I work on the mindset at the same time as doing the energy work. That's kind of like my niche. And so, because I love sometimes the sessions are silent
Mhm,
and you just work the energy around them and then they feel great. And when they leave, but they go back to regular life, regular beliefs, regular thinking. So
mhm,
my goal is I want them to have the best hour that they can, and we need to get the mind connected back to the heart.
mhm,
We need to stay out of this space as much as go heart center. So it's kind of breaking down the beliefs that they are this or they are that, or, someone is doing something to them, and kind of all encompassing looking at things differently, but allowing them to still have their own path.
mm,
Non judgment. Like when you're in that room, there is no judgment. I've had people who have harmed other people.
mhm,
I've had anything from military people to people who've done time in jail. Had people who have been in gangs. And you know what? Everybody was made perfect. We
mhm,
make imperfect decisions. And
mhm,
how long are we supposed to hold ourselves in a very bad place before we start living a better life?
mhm. It's that misery that I believe that you expose people to, the choice to not be miserable anymore.
Exactly. Like it is a choice. We're still going to dip in and out of it. Life
Mhm.
is a roller coaster,
Yeah.
but once you start coming in and having regular sessions, you start feeling in a different vibration that when you hit your lows, which are important, you just dip your toe in them and say, okay, I'm not going to stay here any longer than I need to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do need to kind of hit the bottom a little bit and have a poor me day. Like we can't get rid of all our emotions. Our emotions are important. Our emotions actually get trapped in our bodies.
Mhm,
When someone is angry, a lot of times their liver's sluggish.
mhm.
You know, when somebody has a lot of throat issues, they're not speaking their truth. They're not sharing how they really feel. Grief is in the lungs. So, I mean, and every organ system has those emotions and they get trapped. So, not only energetically can we move it, but we can mentally work on moving it.
And that's the partnership and the support and recognizing that we don't need to do this alone and that there are I believe, I feel like they're angels on earth because you've ignited your gifts, you've ignited your talents, and you've put them to use, especially knowing that not everyone around you was like, yay, go for it. You got this. This is amazing. We envision this beautiful cheerleading, surrounding. And when we don't have it, that's when I see the greatest gifts really rise up because it wasn't easy. it wasn't something that somebody was like, like there are people that have a great support system. I have an interview coming up with a woman, and she would say she wouldn't be here without her family. Yeah, she's also endured a lot more heartache than most would even understand and know. And because I believe of that heartache, they have come around her differently in
Mhm.
a new phase. It's not always the case.
No, no, no.
And we still get the choice. We still get the choice. And I think that path can be daunting, but then when you come along the path, like today, like our paths
Mhm.
have collided, and we're able
Right.
to see the congruency in that support system. And it feels so great because our conversation, I felt like we had a language between us. We do have a language between us that's different because we've walked that road, and it hasn't been the most beautiful path.
Right.
And sometimes I'll say it's not what's on social media that is most beautiful and helpful to understand, because there's a whole lot of other things that are happening behind the scenes, and we pursue otherwise. And then we find support when it's needed most.
Right. Like we had, like my next adventure after 2020 was moving into homeopathy and teaching the basics of homeopathy. I'm in the midst of doing that right now. And my goal is to teach young moms because Tylenol is not great. Ibuprofen's not great. There are other options. There's like a whole nother non-toxic. 46% of all of our hospitals in the United States used to be homeopathic.
Really?
Yes.
I did not
So,
know that.
yes. So my goal
When
is to
did that
teach it.
do you know when that changed?
Um, in the earlier 1900s, when the Rockefellers found out that they could make medicine out of petroleum that they had left over from their oil fields, because a lot of our products are made from a byproduct, like waste. What do we do with this waste? And so you can look into the Flexner report, and that's where the word quackery came from, is they had to move out the homeopathic because it worked too well to bring in the petroleum based. It's I mean a great business model, but people don't necessarily get better. And that's what I saw with my mom. My
Mm.
mom's medication made her kidneys fail, so she had to have a kidney transplant, another one 20 years later. And then because of different medications, she had to have a colostomy. So she had that for 40 some years because of
Yes,
different,
40 years?
yes. And because of medication, her eyes were failing, her skin was failing, her bones were failing, her teeth were crumbling. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is all due to medication. This is all due to medication. And then she ended up with pancreatic cancer. Like, yeah, this is a side effect of your medication. And I'm just like, and I just never saw my mom in my entire life get better. And I was born skeptical of modern medicine. And then I had met people since a little girl that like homeschooled when I was in elementary school and would say different things, and I just stayed curious. I didn't judge. I just stayed curious. Didn't wasn't confident enough to ask questions. Lo and behold, I have my kids. And as I'm learning more and more, because my husband, 15 years ago, got diagnosed with cancer. So he has leukemia CLL. And we're looking at like my aunt passed away because of chemo and radiation. So like
Mhm.
there's all these things that have aligned in my life that have brought me to where I'm at.
Mhm.
And so once I learned about homeopathy, I was using it, but I didn't really understand the foundation. Once I understood the foundation, I'm like, everyone needs to know the foundation so they take the homeopathy correct. And you can buy a kit, have it
Mhm.
in your house,
Mhm.
and probably almost always skip going to the urgent care.
Mhm.
Skip
Well,
Tylenol.
uh, Sarah has been an absolute beacon of hope and I believe it's come from you
Yes,
because of
she took my
those.
class.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's opportunities and it's choices and it's asking what's possible.
Right. And it doesn't mean you won't go to the hospital or need a surgery or operation, but also when you go in for an operation, you can take homeopathy so you recover. My husband, long story, but he busted himself up almost 2 years ago and two vertebrae neck, two vertebrae back.
Was
Pelvis
that
is
his
in three,
accident?
a dirt bike accident. Pelvis is in three pieces. He has three 8.5 inch screws, broke four ribs, collarbone, and tailbone. And he was in the backwoods up north, and literally he was home from even rehabilitation in 2 weeks. The
Oh my gosh.
doctors,
Okay. So you don't know this. Oh. So you're just sharing something you had shared earlier and I think you had said it about the accident and you might have said it when I met you and I missed it. And I said when I met with you, I wanted to hit record because I was like, all this information. I'm like so used to always having recording. Um, One of our worthy collective women, you don't know this. Do you know about Christina?
no,
I must connect you with
okay.
Christina. She was in her Tesla on the way to the airport on Valentine's Day. And a fancy, I can't say which kind of car, this my son would tell you, whatever car it was racing down the highway, clipped the corner of her car, and she rolled multiple times into the trees.
Maybe I did. Yes, I did hear that she had the accident, but no one knew exactly the
It was
outcome.
probably right. I was just literally, I'm like, okay, I need to connect you. I'm meant to inform, and I pass you on because she doesn't know about you. She doesn't know about homeopathy. She doesn't know about these choices and options. And her healing has been good with meditation and prayer. And yet I know it can be taken to another level because I've witnessed it now ourselves with Arnica and those things. I've seen it work with Sarah and her son and the choices and options. And there's no side effects. Like, you
None.
know, like I always think of the commercials. You're like, okay, you take this medicine, and then it's like, and you may never leave your house again because of blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I think I take that side rather than that side. This
Yeah.
doesn't have side effects. So sorry to stop you.
No. And
I
it
appreciate
helps.
that.
Yeah, it helps emotionally. So we're going to be able to uproot her trauma of the accident. It helps knit bones back together. In fact, I had to wait until they decided which surgeries they would do on him before I can give him those remedies, or his bones will heal too fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to know what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it is research. So I do a Gateway 1, 6 weeks, Gateway 2, 5 weeks. And then we have a group text. Anybody has any questions?
Mm-hmm.
I do have a homeopath if I need to send you to them as
Mm-hmm.
well. I just am purchasing a bioscan and I will be able to bioscan everybody because everything keeps taking me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did my husband heal fast, but starting in 2019, we have gone to Mexico for all of his cancer so that we could avoid chemo and radiation till this past year. And then we have a little mini clinic in our basement that has sauna, a red light sauna, dome sauna with charcoal, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, PEMF, near infrared light, mini rife machine, and ozone, plus all the other things that we've learned from since 2019 on the holistic side. So everything just keeps aligning, and I just keep saying yes, yes. And I will tell you, I barely made it out of high school because I couldn't study.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because nothing lit me up like wellness, emotional, Reiki, homeopathy, all of this stuff, all these modalities have just filled my soul. And I just love it. And when you get on to like self-doubting, because people will say, are you really sure you're okay with doing Reiki? Do you really know what you're doing? Or are you really sure? Are you really sure? And there's no master of anything. There's no knowing. No one knows everything. And I will never claim to, but I
Mhm.
have enough experience in life that I can share my experiences and help people find their way.
Such a beautiful gift. And I think that that's a spot where I think we're going to need a Amy 2.0, because we could go so fast to the conversation because my mind is in curiosity of all these, like what you've shared. And it's interesting because we have a family chat, and what you were talking about, the petroleum, I remember that coming up. I'm like, oh my gosh, circling back to that learning and that knowledge and understanding where some of this is coming from, and how much greater it is to lean into someone who's been in the work. You've seen the
Mhm.
work and the variety of work that you have from, I think you said, was it a Marine or a Navy SEAL that you shared that you've worked with?
I've worked with a ranger. I've worked with um, a couple military people, as well as I took some training for working along with them as they do the ayahuasca journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to be holding space for them. So in every single client has challenged me to the fullest. And the bigger the challenge, the more I grow.
Oh my gosh. Again, yes, 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 yes. And I think that that is the difference of leadership and understanding that when we sign up for the opportunity to lead,
Mhm.
that iron sharpens iron every single time.
Well, every class I teach, I start with, I am excited to find out what you can teach me. And they
Mhm,
are stumped. I go, oh no, you will all challenge me. Everybody teaches me. And that's
mhm,
why Reiki has been amazing. And that's why homeopathy, as well as the bioscan, it's just going to teach me and teach me. I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to look into things like this is just fascinating. In personalities, I love human nature. And
mhm.
I love looking at it from a non judgmental space and just observing and learning through people. I mean, it's the best teacher.
It is. And when you partner and collaborate and go alongside, which is the same, support, collaborate, all those, that really makes such a great difference because we become better in that
Yes.
opportunity. And I love how you shared we're not a master of all things, yet we can fill in those gaps for each other.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is that is so much greater. And I think that there is a great awakening in the space because I was in a leadership training and they were talking about AI, and I said, hold on, because I could feel the energy shift of fear.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's a tool. Just like this is a tool, just like the internet is a tool. It's always a tool, yet it doesn't have a heartbeat.
Right.
And nothing will replace our heartbeat when we pursue our gifts and talents. Because when we partner up for your gifts and talents with my gifts and talents and Sarah's and all the support system and the groups that you've created and the leadership, that rhythm, I love the rhythm, the
Yes.
understanding of that
Yes.
is such an absolute gift. And it ignites someone else's dream to say, wait a second, how can I learn from you? I feel parts of this too, and that leadership to influence that opportunity to look to something greater and better is yes, I couldn't ask for more. So knowing that we could talk forever. And I just checked the clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, this went by so fast. What would you say would be what's some what's something that's on your heart that you feel like someone when they come upon this interview would benefit knowing that you haven't already shared?
I would just, through my journey of becoming who I am, and it's only begun, I would say don't hold your knowledge within. Don't be afraid of sharing who you are. Be okay that you won't always be received
Mm.
the way you hope and want to, and your people will come to you. Your people, your tribe will come. Your you will be led to the right places. But don't hold what you've learned and your knowledge within, because everyone needs to hear it and everyone needs to share it so that we can connect.
That inspiration and that connection is so much greater.
It
And it's
is.
focusing on something more than the lack of.
And that comes from me working through staying small and being afraid I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, and what else? No, we have to stop that. Everyone is a master of what they've learned,
Mhm.
but just keep your ego away and just share. Just share. The more we share, the more we can support one another.
I agree. I heard that ego stands for edging God out.
Yes, and the ego also edges you out because you're afraid that you're not as smart
Mhm.
as Maggie. I can't
Mhm.
do this. I'm not as smart as Maggie.
I don't look like, I don't talk like, I don't, whatever. And it's like that's a comparison, and that is digging your own hole because it's like we're walking along and all of a sudden I drop and I'm like, okay, because I put into comparison rather than partnership. But if our arms were linked, guess who
Yes,
wouldn't fall? Me.
yes.
I wouldn't fall
You're
deep into the hole because we were connected in a good way for the greater of the good versus, oh
yes,
no, I'm good. I'm just going to be over here by myself. And then
yes.
there's not
And
that
and
support system.
be there for others because Sarah made me a tea. And I'm like, you have to go in business. You have to do this.
I like, and then I come along and I'm like repeat. And I think she said at one point, she's like, "You sound like Amy." I'm like, "I need to meet Amy." I'm like, I love her because we have such similarity in the empowerment and that encouragement of knowing that when we activated ourselves, we activate those along with us, and that partnership is so incredible, and life will never be the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I say it's like I'm working with a client. I am showing and bringing out in them everything that everybody sees that is so amazing and beautiful about them. And I'm like, you have to start seeing it within yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. I couldn't agree more. Well, you are such a gift. And I'm so thankful that Shara shared you with me and that you decided to leave something good for something greater.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you, your time, and your calling.
Oh, thank you. We're so much better together.
Yes, agree.